Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are in the world. You're here on Radio Works World platform with your host, Sabrina Ben Salmi, on the Dreaming Big Show. Today I'm here with my special guest, Chris, my special guest, I can't even get my words out, literally come through the door. I'm here with my special guest, Chris, who is a visionary. He's a portfolio gentleman, I would say. He's a visionary. He's a mind, body, soul, and heart coach and mentor. And he's here to talk to you about varied things. But one of the things I thought was really powerful is about with regards to your health being your wealth. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, awesome. Actually, it's one of the words you'll hear from me quite a lot if you get to know me. It's like, how you doing? It's not bad. It's not good. It's awesome.
I like that.
I might use variations on that sometimes of being fantastic, but you might catch me in case you say good. It just means I'm deep in thought.
Beautiful.
So there's just three things.
Excellent.
So yeah, thank you for asking.
Yeah, I feel quite excited about having you on the show. In the short period of time I've known you, you've shared some amazing things with regards to us fine-tuning and getting connected with our body to give us back our lives, so to speak. Could you talk a bit about, tell us about your journey first and foremost before we kind of dive right in and go down the rabbit hole. Who are you? Who is Chris?
Your mum's now laughing at me you said that from an earlier conversation. So I've got a coin in my pocket that's quite pertinent to that story, but maybe you'll have to ask me in person why she laughed, because it's quite cool. I'll reveal later. Can't give everything away. So
True.
But yeah. Wow, where to start? As I sort of said to you, that sort of backstory. It's for me, I suppose I've had things sort of grown up I've always wanted to do, and they're sort of coming through now because timing's right. So my dad's. I'm very fortunate. I have two dads. Had two dads, but now I'm a spiritual journey. I've gone back to two dads again because he connects to me, and I feel his presence in scenarios. So if you ever see me work in a room and people are drawn to me, that's very much the presence of Kristian, who was, to do what he did for me and to bring me up as his own son. That's powerful for me. For my dad to actually bless that man, spend 2 years around that man to make sure that he was good enough to warrant bringing me up. It's a huge accolade and testament to Rich, really. And for me, I get buzz when I talk about it. He's just coming and going, "Oh, thank you, son," and give me a big hug. So yeah, I just want to say, first thing is a huge thank you for him and for everything that he did for me. And I'm here in the form that I'm here in now because of him. And I've got multiple stepbrothers, so I have an extended big family. So blessed in that nature. And yeah, so formative years, sport, more sport.
Who was the person that you beat in the race? I like that story.
Oh, the story, that story. That's a cool story. Well, before I reveal his name, all I say is that I'll give a sort of background. He's a phenomenal athlete. We actually knew each other, and the reason we know each other is that our dads both used to play rugby.
Oh wow!
I can't reveal some of the names they had for each other because they weren't particularly suitable for this time of the day, maybe in our audience.
Wait until watershed.
Let's just say they, they verged on a little bit naughty, but they were meant with absolute pure love, so they could transcend that line of decency and maybe sort of stepping over the mark. But everyone knew them as those when they were around each other. They just used to roar with laughter. Some of the stories I can share with you about Rich are really cool, and that's some story. But the person I'm referring to is basically he's not current anymore because obviously he's semi-retired, but I still sort of keep tabs on him. Is basically the indoor 60-meter world champion 3 times over. So he's pretty quick off the mark, shall we say. And he's pretty much he was one of the fastest starters when it comes to sprinting, both indoors and outdoors. He's going back to the era of Linford Christie, so some of you probably know who I'm referring to. But yeah, it was at school age. So,
you gave it away too quickly.
I don't know what age I was.
I'm only joking.
Yeah, I could have been a senior. I might have been junior.
True, I jumped in too quick.
Yeah, you see.
That's so funny when you told me.
And university even. But no, he basically I beat him in a foot race without any shoes on, so bare feet, like we were sat here now, which is quite nice. Barefoot runner, yeah. I beat him by a mile. But the only thing is, I was only 4.5 years old, so I
thought that was quite funny when Chris first told me that. He told me the name, he told me the age.
I still haven't told you his name, which I'm very good at.
I think it's best not to.
We'll protect his identity, yes. So I'm probably revealed enough. But he's a very close friend, and there's an actual story. The last time I saw him, I freaked him out a little bit, which was quite funny because if you do know who I'm referring to, there's actually a banner of him at Bath University. I hadn't seen him, must have been for about 12 years, so this is going to probably lead on to quite a few other segments and you're going to refer to this. And somewhere in the university, I've been in a few times, I've sort of started to meet people at different departments there because I have a strong affinity for Bath, obviously, because of where I'm from. And I was thinking, God, it'd really be cool if I bumped into this person. I haven't seen him for ages, and I know he trains out of here. And I just sort of stood there, stood underneath this banner, and I was like, oh, there he is there. I looked down the corridor, and there he is. He just literally appears in front of me. and I went, da-da-da, and he went, and he looked at me and go, I know you, but why do I not know you? So this is actually a little bit longer than it normally is. Yeah, I had like a goatee, and he'd never seen me with a goatee before, and it's just like, why do I know you? So he picked up on the energy. And I went, da-da-da, and he went, no. And I got an amazing hug, and I actually took we got someone to take a picture. So I never got to actually physically see him run in person on the big stage. And I know that Rich never did either. And one of my dreams was always to have taken him to have watched this person in the Olympics, and actually, because our dads were so close, and it never transpired. So, which is, it was one of those things that you wish you'd been able to do, but the intention was always there. But to have that connection with somebody that from that long ago, and then their whole face light up because they remember me and him running around 7 years old with rugby balls, kicking them while my dads were off training. Just being kids really, and just enjoying being around the adults. Getting the old, try and tackle and bounce off them on the floor, and sort of, just getting stuck in. But that was my sort of introduction to rugby, was from a very young age because of them. So it's one of my loves. And it's football.
When did you start going into this era of coaching people, coaching and mentoring? When did that start for you?
Do you know what? I think it's probably something I've always done, not realised. Probably with my younger brother, because I was pretty much the only person that if he went sort of high energy that could calm him down, or I knew how to calm him down, or had endless patience with him to not react to him, and to kick off and do the normal brotherly thing of being the aggressor back to change that energy. And I just removed myself from the situation, which my door and wall did take a hammering from that, I must admit, on occasion, whereas I wouldn't let him on the other side of the door and just go, look, until you calm down, you ain't coming in. Just to get him to realise his actions and to just give him the opportunity to calm down himself to then come and be in my space, because more often than not, I'd be there painting, drawing, or studying, but when I then got into the world of Super Nintendo, and Sega, he would like to come and play on that. And I go, yeah, cool. If you can behave and not smash controllers, you can play. You get a bit involved and carried away. And I'd be there painting. So we, spent a lot of time around each other in the room. And for a large period of time, he was one of my best friends. I never said that, James. Sorry.
Oh, that's so nice.
As much as you probably thought I didn't want you around, I really did enjoy having you around. And there's lots of stories with James.
That's interesting. Share. Often the people that are around you mean so much to them, but they perhaps haven't told you. So you can't really perceive just because of what you see.
No, and I'm waiting to see his face when he comes to the event that we've got on at the weekend, because I'm going to make sure that he's there.
Can you tell us about that? Can you share it with the listeners?
Yeah, sure. So we're very fortunate that as these things pan out and you sort of connect with people, like yourself, people probably think, you guys must know these other ages. And it's like, no, it's probably about 6 weeks.
We met at the awards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was about 6 weeks. Is it 6 or 5? Yeah. And then I've been blessed to meet the whole family and mummy that sat just there, who's equally as awesome. And you need to come to the show just to meet this woman, because Oprah watch out. This is a talented lady, and she's amazing. So and
so when is the show? And
I know you've got to keep me on points here. That's why I said I can't do this without you. So the show, the event we've got on is this Saturday and Sunday. There are opportunities to come on the Monday or more around that. So it's called the Business 2017. So business2017.uk. I'd urge you to go online quickly, because luckily for you guys, we haven't actually done a huge, mass email to our vast contacts yet, because we want to give people an opportunity to actually to get a ticket.
So that's this weekend.
That's this weekend, yeah. And people that know are going, there ain't nowhere else I'm going to be on that weekend. So we've got some crazy stuff we're going to do, but from a fun perspective. So basically, the business of having fun is how I would label it. So if you're in the room, you're going to have a great time.
Excellent.
So if we see you there, we look forward to. We might have a dial-in. We can't promise anything yet, because obviously this is sort of the inaugural event. We're doing things a little bit different to maybe what people have experienced before. So excellent. We want you to really feel special that you were there, the first one. So
and the real thing that I really want to home in on is you, Chris. So perhaps with our listeners, how important is it that that they or you take care of your health? Why is that so absolute paramount? Because not a lot of people realize how important it is until it really hits them in the face.
That's a great question. You can answer that on so many levels, which is why when someone says to me, I've got this thing that I'm struggling with, and it's going, you need to sit with that for a little bit and understand where that thing is coming from and what that thing is causing in other areas of your life, and what is it that you're due to learn from that. And sometimes it's just to sit with that and to be okay with it, and through the understanding of that experience and that time, you'll grow. And that's what, it's that pivot point, that bit of resistance that you had to be in to have failed to experience, to actually then, I suppose like a yacht tack. If you keep going that way, it's going to run out of steam, and you're not going to continue on that path because the wind's not there anymore. You've got to literally 180 degrees, and then you're back on track again, as it were. But people looking from an outside are going, you've just changed tack. Where they're saying, that's a 180 pivot. You're confused, and you're going, no, I know what I'm doing. I'm divinely guided, and I'm being given all the tools and resources I need to actually do this. It might look like it's out of control, or it's the wrong course or the wrong path, but if it is, you'll quickly get back on the right path, because you might need to have been a little bit off course to actually find a path that nobody's seen yet. It's a new path, so how can they know this new path that nobody's ever been down before?
Absolutely.
Or it's maybe an old path, an ancestral path that's been lost that you've now rediscovered. And that can be taken in so many different ways.
And is it a sense that this ease, in a sense, shows up to teach us something? Because I know people get quite scared around that. They get diagnosis and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's when someone says to me, I've got this challenge. Let's call it a challenge. It's a set of things that I need to find a solution for, to work with, or to one of the keywords you'll hear in certain fields is to manage something, and by managing something, you're accepting that as fact, when actually it might be a suggestion or an understanding from that person's paradigm or their schooling or their teaching that that's what normally happens. But what if you're not normal, in the sense that you can transcend that diagnosis that you've bought or that understanding that you have, and by doing a bit of inner work, all of a sudden that you have a miraculous recovery. I mean, when we talk about cure and fixing, to get around an obstacle or under an obstacle, or to change that or remove it, we're sort of looking at changing your position now, and that could literally happen like that if it's a mindset thing. And this is where you meet that one person or that one situation that changes your life forever. And we're always looking to label these things as good, bad, wrong, or right, but it's a happening that happens now. Are you gonna carry that with you all the time? Are you gonna buy into that all the time? Do you keep selling yourself that every morning you wake up and think, I've got a bad knee, or so I'm gonna have knee pain? there you go, there's knee pain. You're expecting it when you wake up. I'm not dismissing that people that have got, you know, situations that they're going through, and it's never to say that at all, but it's like, can you, I mean, I'm very fortunate with the people that I've been blessed to meet. That I know there's a big seminar going on in Sao Paulo at the moment, and the whole 3 or 4 days is about perspective. And it literally is that, you know, I wish we could have gone, but we will find out everything that was there because we have insider intel. That's to come later. But, you know, it's perspective. Can you literally get out of your own head? And what that means is, you know, we hear all these sayings, but when you think, well, what does that mean? It actually means, can you observe the situation you're currently right this second in, no matter what's happening around you? Can you step outside of that, observe yourself from outside of you, and literally position yourself, the person that's saying something, can you position yourself as the person on the receiving end, which is kind of one version or part of you, and then can you observe it as a third party, external to you, to actually get an understanding of, well, if I don't react, look how that's calming the situation down. That person's behaving differently, and whereas that would have accelerated and grown and magnified, yes. I'm not feeding it. So because I'm not feeding it, I've then changed it. So then, of course, the outcome through doing sometimes nothing other than just being present, even when something's directed at you, actually changes the future outcomes. Yes. So you've done nothing to gain everything. Yeah.
Which, may I really, sorry to cut you there, may I add, you know, this is why I said, Chris, I have to interview you. Chris has been working with our family in different variations, but in particular my son, he was in and out of hospital, and very, very amazing to see the work that Chris done with Kemery-Toone in particular, and how he's come forward, and how Kemery-Toone owns his ability to speak to his body, to connect with his body, and to also, I'm kind of mind blown. Like, I'm really just settling into it. My son was in hospital, very serious, acute level. There was a lot going on. And Chris, I just got on the phone to Chris, and he came down. He spent a few days. You've been in and out of this house quite a lot. We've adopted him, so to speak. But and also, yeah, no, it doesn't just turn up. Definitely welcomed. And also what Chris is talking about with regards to holding the space. He was here during a particular incident in our family, and he held the space, and it was quite interesting how there was this pattern interrupt, what you're actually talking about, and how we tend to feed something which is not necessary. So like perhaps where you are in your life, there might be stuff going on, and you may be annoyed. And I think not so much what I say, you know, what advice can you give a listener, perhaps if they're going through some anxiety or a difficult situation? What perspective can you share with them?
It's a great question. I mean, when we say about, you know, we always look at, again, we use the word perspective, and we say to somebody, you know, you've got to shift something, or something's got to change, and like a pattern interrupt. When we use those definitions, people are thinking they've got to actually do something. Sometimes there's some of those three things to actually do nothing other than just be quiet. The power of silence, or to allow yourself to hear your thoughts. And one of the things we shared, which we kind of, I can't take full ownership for, no way, and I couldn't tell you where I heard it, but it's something that we sort of talked about and maybe come up with together in a way, is to say, I must credit them, it's Bruce Lipton. Whose voice is it that's talking to you?
Oh, there, that was quite powerful.
Powerful, because like, and you think, listen, I think, well, what do you mean by that? Well, actually, what it means is that, who can you visualize when you're calm and you've had a time to, you know, step away and literally have to remove yourself from that situation? Who can you visualize saying what you said, and then what the other person said in reaction, and that literally that sort of cycle of just building energy, and you know, you're fanning the flames, and they're getting bigger, and you know, it's a sort of, you know, a blowout, as it were. Because if you can picture somebody saying the exact words, no, write them down sometimes. You just write it down, you can just go, oh my days, I can see that would be my mum, or it would have been my uncle, or it's my best friend, or it's the person from work. Because I'm around all the time, I don't realise that they've actually, it's like a mind virus. They've planted this reaction and this energy within you that's, because you hear it so much, there's so little resistance for it to just come out of you unconditionally without you realising. And that will then stem and kick off and trigger. When we say about being triggered, it's like triggering other things. And that's the realization. You go, wow, I could see such and such. That's when oh, you're just like your mum, or you're just like your dad, or technically that's them talking.
Yes, exactly.
And so I must say thank you to Bruce Lipton, because that was like very insightful, and it helped me immeasurably through some of the challenges I've had, you know. And that's where it's not sympathy, it's not empathy, it's actually an understanding. But to understand that everybody's experience, it has to be different because it's individual. Absolutely. And that's the clarity that I'll share with people, you know, to realise that you are an individual, you are unique, you're a beautiful being, and nothing's right and nothing's wrong. It's just, there's a teaching there for you. And yes, I appreciate that some of those teachings that, you know, you wouldn't wish on anybody, but at the other side, why? What are you here to go and do and to share with people? And you know, through service and sharing, it's like, you know, you're going to be abundant because people will want to be around you, and whether it's a service, a product, or just, you know, you get paid for the opportunity to spend time with somebody, and just, you know, just like we are, just talking really, and it's not work, it's just a calling.
Do you know what I want to ask you? I want to ask you, what's your big vision, and how can the listeners help you with your vision?
Oh my day.
It's time for receiving.
I would say so that's me. They'll have to wait for their receiving. I think I know who that is.
So what's your vision, and how can we help you?
My vision, as you know, is manifold. I would say come to the show at the weekend, so we actually have a full house. As my first primary thing, as I'm working with a gentleman called Arif Anis Malek. If you search him out on LinkedIn, he's an amazing man. He's a super coach in his own right.
Do you know what? I'm going to tap you out of that. And no disrespect for Arif, you know, a lot of people do this. You just deflected.
No, it wasn't a deflection, because what I was getting to is, you might appear as that, but it's not deflection. It's that I'd actually love for you to come meet me in person, and I'll share that with you, because it depends who I'm talking to, what I share, because I've got so many things going on. But ultimately, I'm working on the global goals.
Yes.
They were set up by the United Nations. 2030 is the fulfillment point, as we should have achieved those. And again, using the Bruce Lipton quote, it'd be heaven on earth if we have that situation. And certainly we're a long way towards it before we go exploring other planets, perhaps. So I'm actually working on tools and systems to actually support that through in a roundabout way, because it's by people using those things, they ultimately fulfill the goals as an outcome anyway, which is kind of smart in a way, in terms of that, you know, you use smart products, smart services, and the outcome is that you will hit those goals, and we'll do it collectively. So for me, it's to have the opportunity to share what it is that I want to bring, and it's going to be a system of systems. There's 8 things to it. It'll take many forms, probably mostly app. So it's going to be cognitive and quantum in nature. So it'll transcend both biology and computing.
Would you like to connect with like researchers, organizations?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's listening and think, wow, that sounds fascinating, I'm still confused, or you haven't really given anything away. I do give a lot away, and like, when you connect with me, just look me up on LinkedIn. So it's Chris bracket TIAN, closed bracket, as can be read Chris or Kristian. It normally comes first up when you tap those
and your
surname.
Surname?
And then surname is unique because it's Kemery-Toone, so that was my biological father's surname, and then my stepfather's.
Could you spell that just in case?
Sure. So it's Kemery and then dash or hyphen Toone, but it will come up if you put Kristian with the brackets around TIAN.
Excellent.
And connect to me. I look forward to talking with you. You'll see I've connected with some really fascinating, amazing people already. Some of which I'm aching to have conversation with. So we're going to have a full couch, because I'm going to be talking with this one on the couch, because she's amazing. Straight back at you, really, is to say, thank you for letting me be part of your extended family, which is not only here, it's out there in the virtual world, and it's going to grow exponentially, because you've got so much to share with people. And I know you did an amazing YouTube video the other day, revealing what you'd been gifted, which I'd say not gifted, you've been blessed with it. It's not earned, it's blessed, because it was divinely given.
Oh God, yeah, definitely. I feel like that.
And you know, when you speak like that, and if you know me and you're around us collectively enough, when you talk like that and you say thank you upstairs, you get a nice zap of energy, and you go zap, which I just got. So yeah, just to be grateful, whatever the situation, and you know, use encourage people around you to help you. Don't not look for help, but also be aware that sometimes the best help's going to come from you. I think that's a nice way to finish.
Yeah, I think that's really good. Who would you like to go to dinner with? If you can go to dinner with anybody, who would it be?
Great question. Can I have 3 people at the same time?
Absolutely, it's your dinner.
Perfect. Right. Now here, actually, I tell you what, there's a challenge for the listeners, because the people I would choose, I'm not sure who the female equivalent would be. So I'm going to throw it out there. If you can tell me who the female equivalent would be, it might be that I take 3 lovely ladies, like with some of the lovely ladies I'm blessed to have around me as well, because it's going to be a big party. And obviously my partner, because she might be
that's really
cute.
Yes.
I say to my partner, you know, I'm taking out 10 lovely ladies and you're not coming with me, she might get a bit suspicious.
Yes, that's the first.
One I'd probably get away with, but then I might still be in trouble, even if I explain myself.
You'd be in trouble with me, yes, you would definitely.
Yeah, so the 3 people are basically, it's when someone says to me, what do you do? There's several responses I'll give based on who I know they are and what they're looking for me to respond. So I'm always looking to give them something that they come away with the conversation with information, or that's what you were supposed to be. So you've got the inner you, which that's the inner superhero. I mean, that's going to be Bruce Lipton. I think he's an amazing person. He's a cell biologist, but he's spiritually gifted, and he's brought many wonderful things to the world already. He's got so much more to give. You know, he's a genius in all levels, as are all these people. And the next one I'd have to say would be Greg Braden, because he's like the Olympic version of you. He's gone all around the world looking at all the basically experts that are out there, from tribes, you know, monks, and you know, how do they excel? How do they become the Olympic version of them, the best version of the world that you could possibly be? So that's the outer you, or the biological you that you can sort of see and other people see and interact with. And then finally, I'd look at Thomas Campbell, so which is like his things like the you know, my big toe. And people, what do you mean big toe? Big theory of everything. And it's his, and he's got a tomb, and it's like 3-volume book, and it's literally just like this. Digital form's probably the easiest way to read it. I've been listening to the first book, so sorry, Tom, I've only listened to the first one, but I've spent 2.5 years listening to it and interacting with the other content via YouTube.
Wow.
It's because I've been listening to it, it sort of goes in a bit different, and then I'll read a bit or I watch. So it's always, of course, I try and take in as many mediums as I can with the same story, because it lands different. And I might do 2 at the same time, so I'll be listening and reading at the same time. And so yeah, his things like, you know, what is consciousness, and you know, if anybody knows the Monroe Institute, I would say that do the research on Thomas Campbell and look these guys up by name. I don't know if we can post up a couple of links.
You can maybe just attach a link.
Yeah, we'll attach a link for you afterwards, so you can actually find them.
That sounds like a fun dinner. Wow.
Oh wow! It would be
amazing. No eating at all.
I think it would be one of those dinners where everybody else would be listening in on the conversation.
Absolutely, it sounds like mind, body, soul food. Wow.
Absolutely, and yeah, the big picture in a big way. But it's from cell to universal, everything in between, and the holographic nature of that. So
well, I truly believe that anything's possible. So
and we're all stardust, you know. So,
exactly, bring it back home to the platform.
Holographic in nature. All information that you need or any solution is within you, and we're all from the same thing, which is from out there, and we're here, beam into here. So I suppose that's what answers your question.
That sounds phenomenal.
But
like if you have that dinner.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Well, who are the female equivalents? I've done some research.
I have no idea.
You know, this is what we need to change. Is one of the global goals. I think it's global goal 5, equality. It's like, where are all the ladies? They're there.
Very true.
But
they are.
You guys need to get on stage and talk to this lady and some of the other family that we've got within Radio Works, and actually get known. Stop hiding behind the white coats or behind closed doors. It's, you know, there are people that want to know what you know, and what I would say is, to these amazing females that are starting to come to the forefront now, go and find your equivalent, go and interview them. Branded by association, I mean, you're on the same level, but by you coming together, you'll bridge the gap. And also what you'll do is you'll get that perspective, because at the end of the day, we're still female, male. And although you're experts in the same field and you agree on things,
that's beautiful.
You'll share something that's profound, and you might actually rub off on each other and just go, wow, and don't take that the wrong way. But it's, it's that, I made you laugh. It's that, just in case, it's that you'll bring something new to the conversation.
Absolutely, I like that. I like the dynamics of bringing that
it's a good,
feminine.
So I'm throwing back out there and say, well, if you're an expert in the field, who's your direct equivalent on your, that you would say, I'm like them. If I met them, it's like, oh my gosh, like meeting me, but in female or male version of me, like in the mirror, and have fun with that, because you're gonna make such a cool connection that you'd be like, wow, let other people tell you. Ask other people, who am I like? Who would you in this field? Because obviously a lot of people now are multiple fields and they come across multiple sectors. So it's people ask a question, what do you do? And it goes, well, it depends. They go, well, that's not the answer. And they go, well, it is. It's the right answer, because it's like, well, what sector, what field, and what is it that you're looking to learn from, you want to share with me? Because that will give you an idea of how I might respond.
I like that. I actually like that a lot. So I'm going to allow you to give a message directly to someone who's listening. Something that you want to deliver. That this is, the world is your oyster, and this is your portal to connect with those people out there. What do you want to leave them with?
What can I leave you with? What, like profound?
Whatever you choose. What do you want to share? Let's just be you.
Well, actually, being me, I've got a key ring chain on here that says, I'm that kid, right? And anyone who knows this family will know, it is that. It's to be that inner child. And this, to me, I've got that on me the whole time. And if I'm having a bit of a moment, it's I like to say, do you know what? I need to remember that I am still a child when it comes to the age of the universe. And for me, it's like when you get a buzz, it's like you're here, you learn. We're here to learn. So that's how the universe learns, through experience, through our experience, a shared experience, and we learn through sharing with others. And you can't lock yourself away. Sometimes you need to be just on your own to reflect and to have that quiet time to to just be you and understand who you are, but then you need to then go out and share you with the rest of the world, because otherwise, what a waste, what a travesty that the world didn't get to share with you the greatest version of you. And so if I was to put that into like one thing, which I'm sure has been said by somebody, so sorry if I can't remember who said it, but it's just to stay curious and be that kid that's curious, really. So I'd add to that, be that kid. I'm that kid that's curious. I like
that. I think it kind of ties into what Marina Nanny always says to us. You are the best kept secret, and it's time for you to come out. Chris, you've been an amazing guest. Dari and Marina Nanny, thank you for the platform.
Yes, I'd like to extend my gratitude to them as well. I'm blessed to have been introduced to them. So sorry to cut across.
No, not at all.
I said that.
Part of the same thing. It's fine.
And obviously, as someone would say, is like I've got the best mum in the world.
Wow.
And I wouldn't be here speaking to you now without her. And just what an amazing woman that she is, and all the other women that are in my life. I just now or past, just to say thank you for making me who I am. So,
that's beautiful. You've been listening to Radio Works World platform. I'm Sabrina Ben Salmi, and you've been listening to the Dreaming Big show. And have a lovely day, evening, afternoon, and I hope that you take away some value from this interview.
Thank
you.
I'm
sure you will.
Take care. Have a blessed evening. Thank you.
Thank you.